Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's the Cryptid Huntress. I'm Jessica Jones. Welcome into a glitch in the Matrix. I'm back from the woods, y'all. Man, we had a fantastic time with Operation Bamadog. I bet y'all can't guess where we were. But I did a little bit of Dogman research, Bigfoot research, some scouting, and some stalking. Okay, with Drewski of Cryptid Warfare podcast, Drew and his cryptid warfare operators. Let's just say, man, we had a great time out there. It was hot. It was super, super hot, and it got a little creepy at night. But we had a great time. We did have some activity. We're going to talk about that today because, yeah, it's worth talking about. All right. So thank you all so much for being here again. If you guys would like to follow along with all of my shows, please go hit up my website. That's thecryptidhuntress.com. I've got everything posted there, even this show today. If you missed one of my shows, go to my website and you can find it there, including my spaced out radio shows that I do on Sunday nights. They're all there. Also, I have a Patreon. If you guys like to support my work, please join my Patreon. That's a great way to support the channel and support what I'm doing. And yeah, oh, and you get access to all my remote viewing data as well, okay, over there for my remote viewing show. And I am doing a remote viewing show tomorrow night. I know it's a holiday, but I've got Adolf coming on. Y'all know Adolf from the chat. And I am remote viewing. I have remote viewed a target for him. It is something that happened to him. Okay, there's an event. We'll talk about that tomorrow. I'll get more into that as soon as I get some more research done on that before the show. But please join me tomorrow night around 8 o'clock Eastern for my remote viewing show with Adolf. Okay. And also, I do have a shop, War Woman Goods. I send out free merch with purchase. So y'all go hit that up. Okay. And now I've got my buddy Drewski here. Okay. With Cryptid Warfare. Oh, I said Warfate. I better take that down and fix it. Warfare podcast. Y'all go subscribe to his channel as well. We'll be putting his link up in the chat today and listen to him on podcast platforms. Okay. Got a typo, of course. All right, well, let's get to our show today because we spent the past couple days in the woods. Okay, got back yesterday, late yesterday evening, and we went on what we figured it would be like a Dogman hunt. Okay, because we have some friends that had an encounter out in these woods. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring Drew up. Okay, let me read Drew's bio real quick so you guys get a good dose of who Drew is. Okay, Drewski is a warrior of the Almighty whose devotion to Christ is unwavering. He understands that in the spiritual battlefield, living a life that's true to his faith is crucial. He previously served in law enforcement for 7 years and he has worked part of SWAT. He did time in law enforcement, serving as a squad leader, and worked with the tracking and escape teams to find convicts for several years as well. He's worked in protective custody and escorted VIPs. He's even ran a security team of about 50 individuals, but he has extensive experience in bushcraft and survival with over 20 years of knowledge in this field and 10 years at least of experience in Bigfoot and cryptid field research. And this is the real deal, y'all. Okay, Drew is the real deal when it comes to the cryptid field research. He ain't scared, y'all. He ain't scared. That's my kind of people right there. And so, y'all, please help me welcome to the show today my buddy Drewski of Cryptid Warfare Podcast.
Oh, hey guys.
Hey, you eating lunch?
Sorry, I'm actually finishing
lunch?
up the waffle. I'm finishing up that Waffle House, and dude, I am addicted to Kevin's new hot sauce, man. Like, I've been like crushing this stuff. I'm gonna have to order it like in bulk. But anyways, hey guys.
Good. Yeah, now Kevin is with Where the Weird Ones Are podcast. So you guys go check him out too. He's been on my show at Spaced Out Radio. And yeah, you were carrying that hot sauce around in the field the past couple of days. It must be real good.
It's good, man. It's really good. So yeah,
I know.
I am a sucker for hot sauce. So yeah.
Well, considering we were trying to pack light, you know, any kind of extra weight, I mean, that must have been important. You took that out there. Right.
Tell you what, man. The only reason why we're just packing light for sure, man. That's the only thing that was weighing us down was certain items we had to carry. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. So let's talk about our trip a little bit, okay? I would like for you to kind of tell the audience, because I know my my audience was kind of aware of what I was doing, but not really, okay? Because I don't like to tell everything before I do something. I don't tell my locations because we're out there doing some field research, and it could get dangerous if we've got people that know our location and know where we're going. Because that kind of it muddies the waters with the research a little bit. Okay, so do you want to tell the audience about why we went where we went, and give the backstory as to what was going on out there?
Oh yeah, 100%. Okay, so basically, one of my best friends, I'll call him Podunk, B. He's been with me since the beginning over here. So him and I have actually worked together. He's actually before that he was actually a bounty hunter. So him and I with law enforcement were actually the same. He actually served on the same security team that I led. So he was kind of like my second in command with that. And then, you know, him and I just went out camping and stuff. So him and I have been close, man. Anybody I would have, he'd be number one. Anytime I go out operational wise or whatever, I always call him like, hey, here's what's going down. Here's what do you think? Da, 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 da. So him and I are always on the same page. So anyways, him and his dad and his cousin, holler out to Hunter right now. He's actually on Paris Island right now in boot camp with the Marines. So buddy, hope you're doing good. Love you. So him, his dad, and his nephew, they actually went out to Alabama in a certain area. And they were just going out, just to camp. And they're out there for about 2 nights, I think. And he texts me, he's like, hey man, here's where I'm going. So if I'm not back by the certain time, send in the cavalry. So I'm like, all right, cool, man. Well, he got back and he called me. I was like, hey buddy, what's up? And he's like, dude, I got a lot of stuff I got to tell you. I'm like, okay, what happened? So he was saying, they drove up to this area. They hiked in, and that hike sucked, by the way, especially with all that gear. Yeah, Jessica, you know. So anyways,
I know. I had way too much gear too. I will 100% streamline next time I do that. I'm not taking 2 sleeping setups. Okay, like that was stupid because I didn't know if I was going to do hammock camping and be a Bigfoot and Dogman burrito, or if I was going to lay on the ground in my one-man tent. And I ended up doing hammock camping. And so I highly recommend to any kind of researcher, if you're going to go deep in the woods, just take a hammock setup with a tarp. Okay. And do that. I was covered in ticks when I got home last night. Okay. So I still had ticks crawling out of my hair when I was going to bed last night still. Like, it was bad. But anyway, I know I'm itchy thinking about it. I'm still itching. I know. But pack light, y'all. Pack light.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Pack a lot of water, a little bit of food, energy bars, stuff like that. Pack as light as you can. So go back to their story. So after that, he called me and he's like, dude, a lot of stuff happened. And I was like, okay, what happened, man? What's up? And he said, all right, well, anyways, so like me and Pop and my nephew, we actually set up camp. We were cooking, hanging out. And then about I think it was about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, he said, they started hearing not twigs snap, but they started hearing logs snap. Basically something heavy was walking. Multiple things were walking and crushing freaking logs and stuff. And these things were pacing. And he said, dude, it wasn't a deer. This thing was definitely bipedal. And, we actually went over there and tested it out when we got there. He's like, hey, Drew, I need you to stand over in this area. And then he ran back to the camp where we're camped at. And he said, yep, that's exactly what it sounded like, but it was way heavier. So yeah, so he said that these things were just pacing him around there, breaking stuff, doing whoops, screeching, he said. And his dad, uh, Brian Sr., I love that guy to death. We all call him Pops because he's basically kind of like the dad. So anyways, you know, he was in the Army for a while, and he's seen some stuff. But he said, Andrew, out of all the times I've been to war, been all these, doing all this stuff, he's like, I've never been as scared as I have that night. He goes, I literally thought we were being stalked, we were being hunted, and these things were just waiting to pounce on us, just waiting for the right time. He's like, we did not sleep at all. And during that whole time when all that stuff was going on, the whoops, the hollers, the logs breaking and stuff, these things were just circling them the whole time. They were literally back to back with just pistols out, just waiting. And they didn't even sleep. So, and then when the morning hit, they packed up, looked around, and they got the freak out of there. So that's what he told me what happened. He's like, we need to get the guys and we need to go back. I was like 100%. So that's what we did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. One thing that I noticed about that area, as soon as it got dark, it was so dark you couldn't see in front of your face. Like I know where I go out, it gets pretty dark, especially on a new moon when there's no moon in the sky. Okay, like you can't see it. There's no light whatsoever. But I mean, there was literally no light at all out there, and the fog rolled in, which in the mist, it was kind of like Silent Hill a little bit out there. It was
Yeah,
a pretty cool place, Yeah, it was kind of creepy.
I thought like the vegetation was really cool because I never ran into any, like what would it be called? Elephant leaves, like elephant ear leaves or something like
elephant
that?
ears. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, elephant ears. Yeah, because if anybody knows, I'm from Colorado. I'm used to the aspens, the pine, all that stuff. So here in Tennessee, everything's kind of new to me. I've only been living here for about 10 years, but everything's still kind of new to me. I'm trying to figure out the whole geographic of everything, and so, but but anyways, like I said, that was actually the first time I've ever seen that. So and it covered basically kind of like a lot of the light from like getting in. So I think that's why it was dark a lot. It
did. I'm going to show a couple of pictures here where you can see our base camp. Let's see what I got here. Well, I didn't even know I had my camera with me. I thought I left my phone in the car, and I was not going back to get it at all when we got there. But then I found it way down in my rucksack. Okay, I found it way down in there when we got there. But this is what we were dealing with out there. We did hike in. It was a long hike into where we were going, and this is the one of the sides of our base camp. That's my Bigfoot burrito right there. Okay, that's what I'm talking about when I say we have Bigfoot burritos. And most of us were half of us were in hammocks actually while we were out there at that base camp. But when he's talking about, there's some elephant ears in this picture, so that's why I wanted to show this. It's these gigantic. They look like very tropical leaves, huge ones. And it made a very nice canopy to protect us from the sun while we were out there during the day, which was really cool. And it wasn't as hot once you kind of got settled in out in the woods, but it was humid. Okay, so, but nonetheless, so you got a team together. Okay, so you got your team together, and you, after talking to Podunk, okay, shout out to Podunk. After you got the team together, you said, hey, let's go check it out, because they weren't sure if those were actually Bigfoots or Dogmen, right?
Yeah, they weren't sure because after B told me what happened, he said prior to that, I actually forgot to mention this. He told me that when they were hiking in, they ran across 2 graveyards. So, so after that, doing some digging, I noticed that when it comes to graveyards, like, I thought it was Dogmen. Yeah, there I am. Yeah, so I thought it was Dogmen. So I know Dogmen are notorious for being around graveyards or protecting graveyards, and Bigfoot as well. So,
yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. I showed this picture earlier. This is the kind of the bags we had on our backs and stuff. Now, I did find it interesting because some of those graves were Revolutionary War soldiers. Okay, and here's a marker for one of them. It said the exact grave is not known, but it was somewhere there in that area. 2 different graveyards with very, very old markers and stuff that weren't labeled. That actually had a plaque that was posted there in modern day. Okay, so, but yeah, it would make sense that that would be more of a Dogman type creature or creatures that had been stalking them, because we have Dogman reports and sightings in that part of Alabama. Okay, if you go to the North American Dogman Project website, there have been Dogman sightings around these areas. Yeah. We got Jay in the chat. I saw Painter. Okay, he's in here. He lives in Alabama. He sent me a message last night saying, was this in my area? Okay, because he lives over, I guess, kind of more towards the middle of the state. And so I can't give the location away exactly, but I was like, man, y'all got Dogmen all over Alabama. Okay, we didn't just go there looking for Dogmen. We were out there looking for Bigfoot too, whatever was out there. But yeah, Alabama is teeming with Bigfoot activity, by the way.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And now you guys came down from Tennessee. I came down from Georgia. We met in the middle out there, and we were ready for anything. Okay, ready for absolutely anything. And and so we hiked in. I was not shocked at how far we had to hike in to this place, but I think I was like, the probability of us, whatever happened to them is probably going to happen to us again, because I feel like Bigfoots do recognize you if you've been there before. Okay, they're going to see that they came in. I doubt a whole lot of people go camping out there, right?
Oh, especially where we were at? No way.
No way.
Ain't no way.
I didn't think so either. Yeah, I didn't think so either. So, okay, but when we got there, we got to tell the audience this, okay, because this blew my mind. All right, this is something that y'all are not expecting, okay, because I wasn't expecting it. When we got there, a man was hiking out of the woods, and there was a trail there. He was walking out of the woods, and he was holding a big rock. He showed it to me, and I heard him asking Podunk's dad. He said, "Are y'all familiar with dragons?" And I was like, "I am." And he was showing this rock that he had in his hand. He said, "Well, there's a petrified dragon." He said, "There's a stone dragon on this trail." And I piqued my interest, and I know everybody else probably wasn't paying much attention, but I was like, "Whoa, okay, tell me about it." And he said, "Well, have you ever heard of Mud Fossil University?" And I said, "Of course I have." And he said, "Well, I've been coming out here a bit, and there's what I believe to be a dragon, and this is part of its wing." And he held this up, showed this to us. Here it is, right here. So he said that he even had a possess a brush in his hand right there too. So he had been going out there and brushing it off and like trying to clear it off a little bit. And sure enough, when we walked down this trail, he showed us where to go. He said, as you walk down this trail, you're going to run into its head first, and then you'll go down a little ways, and then it's this wing is like over the trail kind of, and then its body snakes back down the trail a little ways. And sure enough, we saw something that looked a lot like could have been a dragon, of all things, a petrified dragon. So I had never seen anything like this in person before. Drew, had you?
No, I never have either. And I've also doing like, how, biblically wise, doing like a lot of studying and stuff like that, Genesis 6 and the Nephilim and fallen angels and all that, and how they sin against humanity and animals and stuff. So with dragons and whatnot. So you and I talked about like two theories, and it didn't hit me until we were hiking back, and you're like, holy crap, I think this is the tail. And then as we're hiking up, going to the trucks, like I was like, dude, this looks pretty close like a freaking dragon, like how the land was laid out. I thought that was really interesting. Really, really interesting. And
it was, and it even had some side pieces that look like almost like gills or something. This is its wing right here. So its body is like up on the top of the hill. His body makes the hill, actually. Like his body is the hill. And then this is the top part of its wing that like was kind of draped over the side of the hill down below the trail that we walked. So we walked right through it on top of its wing. Yeah. Okay. And I mean, this one's yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying the side of it. I was saying because that's how it was. We're actually on like the left side of it, starting from the tail, walking on the side of it. And I'm just like, whoa! You can tell. It's like, it was. Yeah. It was really amazing. Okay. That was pretty cool.
Wait, this way. So this right here where I'm pointing, that's actually was its head. Okay, because you could actually see its head when you first walked down the trail from where we had come in. And then as you go down, it's the wing, and then it's snakes around. It was huge. It was really big. So I just thought it was cool for us to mention this, because this is how our trip started out. This is how the expedition started, with this man coming out of the woods saying that there was a petrified dragon on the trail. Okay. So I don't know. I was like, dude, this is going to be the best trip ever. Okay. It's going to be the best trip ever. But we got to see that. So let's just think about that for a second, though. Let's just say if that is a real dragon. Okay. And yeah, there were park rangers there when we got there, right? Like when we got there and when we left. I mean, this place is pretty heavily, this is a place that is patrolled. Okay. Let's just say, stays pretty safe out there. If you stay on the trails. But let's just say that is a dragon. I mean, doesn't that kind of, first of all, put a little bit more mystery into this location where we were investigating? And I mean, it adds, I mean, what's the history like there? You know what I mean? Like, what's the true history of this place?
Is that a question to me? Is that a question to me?
Yeah. Yes, question to you.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know, man. To me, it's kind of like a jambalaya of things, you know, like a bunch of just mixed ups. You know, you got dragons, you got Bigfoot, you got Dogman, you actually got Indians down there. You have like the Revolutionary War graves. You know, it's just a big melting pot of, to me, extraordinary things. So it's pretty interesting.
A big melting pot. That's right. Well, you know, when we've gone out, okay, so I went with you guys. I met y'all up in Tennessee at Farrah's house, and we did that Skinwalker Cave investigation. Okay, that was wow. And I wasn't expecting to go into a cave this week. Okay, when we went there, but you know as well as I know that when there's one cryptid in the location, there's usually a bunch of different stuff happening there at once, right? So I mean, it could be Dogman and Bigfoot and Skinwalkers, and now we got dragons, petrified dragon out there. But it's not just usually one thing. Oh, and we got to mention Podunk's dad said that when he heard that creature, whatever it was that was stalking them that night, it sounded like a pterodactyl.
That's
you remember that
I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Yeah, he did.
He said a pterodactyl. Okay, now I have never heard. I don't know if anybody in the chat. We got several field researchers in the chat today. What's up, y'all? And if anybody in here has ever heard a Bigfoot sound like a pterodactyl, y'all put it in the chat today. Put it in the comments, because that was an interesting point. Okay, something screeched. And he said the only thing he could compare it to would be a pterodactyl or a pterosaur. Okay, so. Okay. Well, okay. You mentioned the Revolutionary War too, right? Okay. So I did get some pictures because I was doing some research when I got home, and I wanted to see like exactly where the Revolutionary War happened, because we talk a lot on my show about battlefields and the bloodshed and it conjuring cryptids. Okay. And you and I had a couple of conversations about people conjuring cryptids with rituals and stuff like that. Not my cup of tea. Okay, I don't want to do that. We don't do that when we're out there. But we're there to observe, right? And so I thought it would be important for us to do a little history on the Revolutionary War battles. And honestly, I couldn't find a single battle that happened in Alabama in the Revolutionary War when I was looking. However, not to say there weren't. All right, so these are actually the some of the colonies and stuff. Here, a lot of Native American land, and let's just say wherever we were is definitely rich in Native American history, right? Native American history. We don't really know what kind of like land battles have taken place there, massacres, but I gotta assume there's because the place where we went was actually named. There were some Native American like names, titles. Let's just say to the areas that we were in. Okay, so lots of rich history there. Okay, and then we got to take into account the Civil War as well.
Yep.
And all of the battles that happened there. I mean, there's a lot of bloodshed that happened there too. Alabama was in the thick of it during the Civil War, and so I would assume that there's plenty of plenty of blood there in the ground as well. So yeah, not too, like I said, I can't really give the location away, but it's rich with Civil War history, and people that fought in the Revolutionary War are buried there. Okay, they're buried and stuff. So, anyways, I just wanted to lay the groundwork. Okay, lay the groundwork for that. Also, I did have a couple of pictures of petrified dragons I wanted to show
Yep.
the audience.
There we go.
Now, yeah, and this is what that gentleman was talking about. Now, the face was not as pronounced as this. Okay, but you can tell where the head was. Okay, on this thing. Here's another
and the spine.
alleged. Yeah, this is another alleged petrified dragon as well. They exist, okay, or what people believe to be dragons, petrified, exist. All right, so this is another one. Okay, so we got this history. We're going out there. We finally hike in. We get our base camp secured, right? And I noticed these trees, Drew. Okay, so there was one tree in particular. It could have been the weather that knocked it over, but it was in an interesting snap. Okay,
this one 15 foot high.
It was really tall. Yeah, it was right there where we set up base camp. So in my experience, sometimes there are trees snap like that on purpose that are markers for the Bigfoots out there. Right?
Yeah. What caught my eye too was that alleged portal when you said, "Oh my God, it's a portal we're gonna walk through." We're going on that trail. But that was interesting. I remember that. I remember that when I set up my hammock and
there we
go. Yep, me and BX.
Yeah, this is actually okay. So it was a tree bend, but this could absolutely be natural. Okay, we're not saying this is a Bigfoot doing it all, but right around the time we walked through that portal, we were standing. It was either before or after. Something growled. Okay, and it sounded like a wild pig or something, but there was no other movement at all. It was just growling. And it was right behind me, and I kind of jumped over to the other side of the road where you guys were standing. I was like, all right, there's something out here. Because I heard it 3 times. It growled 3 times. But there was nothing there. I couldn't. No,
there wasn't. Yeah, It was funny because you heard it, and then Brian's dad, Brian Sr., he heard it.
Yeah.
And then, and of course, I'm always the one like late to the party, like, hey, what was that?
Well, I thought it was somebody's tummy growling or somebody, grunting. We were hot. Okay, it was very hot out there, and so I didn't know. Everybody was talking, okay, but I kept hearing it, and then when it got quiet, I heard it again, and I was like, uh-oh, right, because I was waiting for like a wild pig to run out at us, like a wild hog, but there was nothing, and I would think that I don't know if pigs just stand still, like wild hogs, if they stand still and growl and not move, because I don't know. I'm not familiar with wild pigs, wild boars, or whatever they are. But anyways, we did hear that as we were walking in, and this was the portal. We were like, "Welcome to the Twilight Zone," But yeah, after we went through that, was down the ways a little bit. We hit those cemeteries, and
that was really interesting.
And went off. Okay. So let's see what do we want to talk about next? What happened when it started getting dark? Okay, and some of that activity. Okay, tell the audience what you experienced.
Okay, so basically what I experienced. So after we set up camp and all that, and then Brian's dad, because we kept running into the fishing line, he put up with bells and stuff. So, and then we set up a camera, a trail cam, and then he also set up like a voice recorder up on the other side, and like. For me, with this style of hunting, I'm be honest, I'm not used to just sitting at camp and, like just sitting there waiting. I'm actually used to gunning up, tracking these things going out, right? Walking. So, but yeah, we're just sitting there chilling. And then when it started to get dark, that's when the whole atmosphere kind of changed a little bit. And, and I saw you standing up on that log and real quick, before it got dark, we heard BX and then Brian Sr. heard something running on the opposite side of us, running in the leaves. And then BX was like, I hear it. And well, what's funny about BX was that he kind of was riding the line on like being a skeptic, but when he went like last night, yesterday, he's like, dude, I think there's something out there for sure. I definitely know there's something out there. Like that night, I guess changed him, I guess. So, but like I said, because he heard like the wood snap, he heard the running through the leaves, and then me and Poe get up and looked around. Where were you? I forgot. Were you over there hanging out with us, or were you over on the other side by the
I was
by your hen?
setting up my camp probably. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't remember that part. So
okay.
I was doing my own thing.
Yeah. So after that, I just took off running. Because what I wanted to do was I wanted to flush whatever was running towards the camera.
Yeah.
So I took off running that way, drew my pistol out, looking. BX was behind me, covering my back. And then Brian and his dad chilled there, just watching, waiting. And then as I was running, he said it just completely stopped, and we looked, and we're trying to find tracks, and then nothing. Mm-hmm. So whatever was running, it was small. And this will lead into what we found hiking out. Mm-hmm. So I was looking for something big, you know what I mean? Or like low to the ground or whatever, that's what I was looking for. So, and then that stopped. And then when it got dark, we're just sitting there just waiting. And, so my punk butt is just getting antsy. So I was like, I told Bri, I was like, dude, I'm gonna go do a round. So that's when we did a round. We got up, we walked down to where like the stream was at. Then that leads to you guys, because I know you guys heard something. Well, me and Brian were down there about like 300 yards out doing a round around the whole camp. Mm-hmm. So what did you guys hear?
Yeah, we did. Well, we heard some rustling around and stuff, and some snapping of trees, twigs, things like that, coming from the opposite side from where y'all were. And something else to note too is when you and I were sitting in the camp, when they had gone to put the recorder out, mm-hmm. You were like, "Is that a hummingbird?" We saw this saw the weirdest.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like a it literally looked like a fairy or something, but this is just a gigantic bug, and it was the size of a hummingbird. Yeah, and we had our attention on that, and as we're looking at that, trying to figure out what it was, something happened behind us too. Do you remember that?
I do.
It was almost like a bait switch. Yeah.
And the thing too that people gotta understand is, guys, there was no animals there at all. No squirrels, no muskrats, no deer, nothing. All there was just birds, but they were in and out. But as far as animals, mammal-wise, nothing, guys. There was nothing at all. Nothing. We didn't see a dang thing. And that's the thing that BX and then Podunk said, is like, dude, it's freaking weird. Like, usually we going out tracking that far, we would see something by now. We would see squirrels, muskrats, whatever, but we didn't see a dang thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was also something to know about the crickets, the frogs, the cicadas, whatever that was. It was deafening loud. So
it was loud.
It was super loud. And so, which is actually a good thing, kind of too, because as soon as they go quiet, something's there.
Something's in there. Yeah, something's in there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but they never did go. They never did go quiet though, did they?
Nope, they never shut up. But that's a good thing. So.
It's good. Because I started snoring at some point when I went to sleep.
Here's the thing with that though, leading up to that.
Oops.
The craziest thing that me, Brian, and BX took away from it was, I think it was about 3 a.m. You were asleep, and then Brian's dad was trying to get some sleep. So I was actually up making coffee. Just after we got done doing a round again, we sat down, and then BX was making coffee for us, and then we're drinking. It sounded like, okay, here's the thing, guys, is that there's no highways near us. There's maybe a road that's like 3 miles out that way. It's it's basically just like the Appalachian Mountains, right? It's a forest area around there. There's nothing by there at all. We heard almost, to me, it sounded like a jet airliner that was far away. And then we heard it, and we're trying to look up, but of course, you really can't see squat, so, and we're hearing it, and it's getting closer and louder and closer and louder. So at that time, BX stands up. I'm already standing up, just listening. Poe gets up and just jet air. To me, it sounds like a jet airliner. Just like basically, unlike when the jets just, it's getting closer and closer to where it's so loud. We're like, what the freak is that? And we're holding up our ears. And then it lasts for 20 to 30 seconds and it just cuts off. And you're still snoring away. And so is Dad. He's still sleeping. And I'm like, they didn't freaking hear that? And Brian was
I
like,
don't
what
usually
the?
snore. I'm sure. I really don't snore usually. I was so exhausted. I know.
She was,
so,
she was out. It was good stuff. Yeah, so we were
everybody
surprised
knows.
you guys didn't wake up. So we were, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so we were surprised you guys didn't wake up. So we were surprised you guys didn't wake up.
Everybody was snoring, by the way. Okay.
Yeah, we all were.
I'm snoring too.
Yeah, I was. So yeah, we're looking around. What the freak was that? And then I looked at the watch because I always think missing time. I don't want to miss any time. Like, God damn it. I talked to myself, God damn it, Drew, they freaking got you. So I looked and it, and it was like 3:03. So I'm like, okay, good. But, Bri was like, what the freak was that? And BX was like, dude, that was weird. And all of a sudden the butt. So.
Uh-oh. I just lost you there. You came back. Speaking of missing time, you just disappeared and came right back. That was weird.
Okay. So where did I leave off?
I think it's so weird because a lot of times when I talk about missing time on my shows or going through a portal, one of the cameras will stop and like we get knocked off StreamYard and then we come back. Which is
Big Brother's listening. Nice.
Making a note, right? Okay. So right. Yeah, it's. I mean, we're always aware and like checking. I'm always checking my watch too. We're making sure the times are kind of, adding up and stuff like that because it does happen. Missing time happens more than you think. Okay, and when our equipment starts malfunctioning, okay, that's another thing. I didn't pull out a whole lot of equipment there. I did. Somebody had a night vision. Okay, some night vision goggles, and I borrowed those for a minute when you had them, and and I actually did see a large orb just shoot in front of the camera, and it kind of darted back and forth, and it was startling because I thought it was a bug at first, but then there were bugs beside it, and this thing was huge. It was like this big. It was like the size of a softball or a baseball, and it went right in front of my face, and then it just kind of ducked out. Okay, so I saw that. That was pretty much right off the bat when I started looking at those goggles. All right, but that was about it. Now, what do you think that noise in the sky was? Do you think that would have been? Is there any kind of army base around there, or any kind of Air Force base, or something like that?
Yeah. So after that, Brian's dad looked up into it. I guess NASA just built a base in that area, like a secret base in that area.
So, gosh.
I don't know if
they're
testing out stuff, whatever. So it kind of makes sense, but.
Yeah. Well, there is like the Huntsville, the Space Center is in Alabama. I'm not saying it's close to where we were or anything, but they do have that. I've actually been there when I was in 6th grade. I went there. They do have all sorts of stuff going on around there. So that was, I didn't even think about that. Alabama does have a lot of aerospace technology stuff going on. Okay, they do. Okay, bless you.
Thank you.
So that would make sense. I should have thought about that sooner. I should have. But yeah, other than that, okay, because like UFOs don't usually make a lot of noise. I've never, anytime people describe seeing UFOs, I've seen them myself. They're completely silent. Okay, totally silent. But not to say there's something. I mean, that does sound kind of odd because you said that it sounded like it kind of stopped and it hovered and then it took off.
Well, it stopped, it hovered, and all of a sudden, it's like someone just turned the light switch off. It just stopped.
Oh, wow!
And then the insects all came back.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. That's pretty amazing. Okay, well,
thank you, Miss Millie.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, by this time, I'm asleep. Okay, I fell asleep at some point. And did you guys experience anything else that night after that? I mean, because I would assume were you up when the sun came up? I didn't even ask. You were up pretty late.
Yeah. as far as that, when the sun came up, I remember waking up to Brian and his dad eating. But like I said, we actually basically like took like fire watch shifts, right? So I slept from like 10 to like 12. Then Brian woke me up, and him and his dad slept from 12 to like 4. And then, Brian was up and down, so he couldn't really sleep. So that was when he helped me do a couple rounds. So, but as far as that, when me and Brian were out doing rounds, I think when you were up, we actually went pretty far down to the stream and, came back up. But yeah, that was when I think I got all this poison ivy on my arm. But as far as that, I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. It was just dead quiet. It was just dead quiet. So,
yeah.
What did that last comment say about reading Playboy?
Come on, Neil. He said that he experienced missing time while he was reading.
I'm sure he did. I'm also sure. I'm also sure that he turned Japanese too.
Oh my gosh, he was so serious. Oh my gosh.
I like that guy. It's funny.
Neil is hilarious. Urso says there's a lot of nuclear assets in the air over us lately.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're living in interesting times, indeed, for sure.
Especially that whole nuclear sub that's off the coast of Miami.
I know, and I'm supposed to be down in Florida in 2 weeks for a conference. So my son is actually excited about it. He's like, there's all sorts of Russian subs and nuclear ships and stuff out there. So I'm like, yeah, sounds fun.
Yeah, bring your gas mask. Yeah.
Right. He's got one. He's definitely got one. He's all hit it up. He's ready to go. But yeah, dangerous times we're living in. Okay, so we got like the outside world 3D that we're having to, people are kind of worried about with like war imminent potentially. And then we're out there doing spiritual warfare and cryptid warfare with cryptids. Not that we're out there warring with anything, right? We weren't warring. We're just out there observing and trying to figure out what the heck's going on.
Yeah, observing, recon, all that stuff. So we just bring certain items to protect ourselves. So, and then, if we bag one, we bag one. That's awesome.
Oh my God. Well, we were hoping, we were hoping to observe one though, right? I mean, I would love to encounter a Dogman. I mean, honestly, that was my big thing going out there. I was like really looking forward to experiencing Dogman activity.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know I was with the right. I
need
crowd.
Another tooth, right? Jess. I need another tooth. That's what I need.
Oh my gosh. Well, we were prepared for anything, for sure. Prepared for anything, and knowing all that high strangeness that goes on out there, I figured we'd have some activity. So the next day, we ended up. We were hiking. We found a print, right? Podunk found us a print as we were leaving, which really solidified what a lot of the stuff that we had experienced the night before with the whoops. I know that his dad had heard a couple of whoops throughout the night.
Yes, but he also said that the whoops weren't deep. It was more kind of like a child whoop whoop. So it could have been a juvenile, could have been a little one. Who knows?
Yeah. Could have been, and I have some pictures of that. Castle Dude, Neil's asking, does anyone know the age that Bigfoots live to? That's a great question.
That's a great question. You never know. They could, if they don't get killed by elements, they don't get killed by one another or an animal or a disease or anything. Who knows, man? They live over 100 years or more, almost like a tortoise.
I know. I mean, I would assume that they live to be hundreds of years old. I mean, I've always thought that, but I can't know for sure. But they're not exposed to all these elements, like they're exposed to the elements, natural elements, but like the processed foods and the chemicals in our water and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Chemicals in everything that we have. I mean, we're being bombarded, but they do breathe the air. Okay, and so like we got chemtrails coming down with microplastics and chemicals and stuff,
aluminum,
and we got they got like fertilizer in the water, the atrazine and all that stuff,
fluoride, all that stuff.
Yeah, they're not out there brushing their teeth with fluoride toothpaste and stuff.
No, but like you said, but but going back to that print, but the one you said kind of makes sense too. It almost looked kind of like a knuckle mark, kind of like how they're climbing up.
Yep, it did, and we can't rule that out. You know what I mean? I mean, it would have been cool to have gotten a plaster cast, like to cast
I know.
That sucks. We got to take our plaster stuff next time we go out there. But
Sure.
let's see. Well, here's where Podunk found it. Okay, he found it. That's him and his dad right there. He located the print. Okay, and it's kind of going up a hill a little ways, and here's a print. I mean, it's hard to see in this picture right here. Okay, it was very hot and humid, and my camera lens was all fogged over, so it's hard to see. But you can see some toe. It looks like toe marks. Okay, in here. None of us were barefoot. All right. You can't walk barefooted through that. It was nothing but briars, right?
Yeah, briars and rocks and dirt and stuff like that, and insects and snakes.
Yeah. Yeah, snakes. You wouldn't catch me. You wouldn't catch me walking barefoot out there at all. But this is his hand beside it. It was a small print. I would say it would have been about. I mean, what I'm going to say like a grown man-sized foot, right? I mean, you can see the toe imprints. The toe marks, but it was small. Okay, it wasn't like a 20-inch print. Okay, it wasn't huge. It would have been more like a very wide human print, is what it looked like, but it wasn't human. Okay.
Yeah.
Juvenile. We're gonna call it juvenile. So, yeah, there's another shot of it, and of course you're taking a picture, so I got a picture of you taking a picture.
Yeah, it's my butt.
I ended up with that on my camera. I was like, oh, that's cool. Okay. So, but anyways, it was pretty cool because I feel like it validated a lot of the stuff that we were experiencing. Okay. Especially by Dad. Yeah.
It did too. Cause that's what he said. He's like, okay, I get it now. So with the whole, like, he called it like a little whoop that. And then of course, we heard like those bipedal steps. I wear knee high rubber boots and
I should have. I should have worn my muck boots, but it was so hot. It was too hot to wear any extra clothes. It was like way too hot.
Yeah, it was hot. I'm actually kind of glad we cut out because it was supposed to be like 95, and then with the 90% humidity, God.
Yeah, it was super hot. Hey, Andrew, he has a question. You mentioned their eyes change when they grow older. Is there a different behavior depending on their age, or is that something that isn't that possible to be researched at the moment? I think you can't. I think we do know a difference. Okay, because in my experience, we call them juveniles, the younger ones, are way more likely to be seen and to mess with you. Okay, the older ones stand back. They don't come around unless they got to come run you out of a place. Right, Drew? What do you think?
I agree 100% on that. Because with the whole juveniles, they're actually playful. They like to tease a little bit. They like to joke around, but as they get older, you know how it is. You freaking mature and you know what life's really about. Well, these things don't want to be seen unless they have to, unless they're trying to run you off their territory or whatever, or unless you got a rogue one that's just bloodthirsty. But, like these little ones are just in and out, they like to joke around. So mess with you, but and only that with the whole eye. What do you say? Their eyes change when they get older.
Yeah, I've heard that. I'm not sure exactly how they change, but I've heard they do. So
yeah, but as far as the older ones, as far as the older ones, how they have like the amber, the red eye color, or the yellow, or whatever. As far as the young ones, I have not heard so far. So I could be wrong. Someone could bring up some intel on that. But as far as young ones, I don't know anything about like their eyes glowing yet or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, some people say that when a cryptid is in the woods and you see red glowing eyes, that's automatically classified as demonic. What do you think about that?
I could be, could not. I don't know. I think it's all on the inside, right? If you see something, because I can see the same thing, and I probably won't get the same feeling as, let's say, like little Timmy over here on the right, you know what I mean? Because I know what I'm looking at. To me, it's all about knowledge on what you know about these things. So everyone has different experiences. But if you see red eyes, I don't know. Like to me, like I've seen red eyes before, but I didn't feel like a primal fear. I was like, just like, what the freak is that, you know? But as far as like, okay, if it's a Dogman, straight up demonic. If it's a Bigfoot, I don't know. I kind of like to. I guess I'm biased.
Yeah, I know. When people, well, see, I hear that quite often, that anything that has red eye shine is demonic. But see, I don't know. I mean, I'd hate to say, you know, like I have green eyes. Okay, so what if everybody classified people with green eyes as demonic or reptilian or something? Like I don't think I'm either. Okay, but it's categorizing and stereotyping, kind of.
Yeah.
Not to say that a lot of green-eyed people aren't, you know, crazy or something. I don't know. I don't think so. All right. But I'm just saying, I'm just using that as an example. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that all things that have red eyes are, you know, because example, you could run into an albino guy who's got red eyes. He ain't demonic. He's just got a problem.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, it's genetic. It's a genetic mutation,
genetic
right?
thing. Yeah. That's all it is.
It's genetic. It's just genetic. And so that's it. So that's why I'm not so quick to say everything's demonic. Okay. I'm definitely not. Now, Brown Dwarf has a good point. If you don't have plaster, you can always go tech and use LiDAR. Okay. Well, that's cool too. We gotta have a LiDAR though. So I guess you can do that on your phone. Whatever. We had zero phone service out there too. So there was
nothing.
No, I was trying so hard to call y'all too and to text, because the back of the truck was open when y'all left, and I was like panicked trying to get in touch. I was trying to flag you down, but y'all didn't see me as you were driving off.
Yeah, that was me.
You took off.
I was home. Yeah. But it was funny because we were down the road and Brian's like, holy crap, the tailgate's open. I was like, ah, dang it. So we jumped out and everything was there. You know, I told Pops, I was like, hey, man, I'm really glad you got that freaking rhino line back there. You know, that way nothing moves. So. Yeah. To the audience, if you're wondering, we were leaving and Drew pulled out in front of, they left before I did. I was right behind them, and they went one direction, I went the other, and the tailgate was open on the truck and all their gear was back there. And I tried so hard. I was like, well, do I try to flag you down and like chase you? Because we were in the middle of nowhere. And so I just was texting and calling and left messages as soon as I got service. Okay. But anyways, everything was good. It was all good. Everything was all good. Yeah. No party foul. It was funny. Brian's dad was freaking out. He was like, oh my gosh, you left the tailgate out. And I was like, yeah, I'll take the rap on that. My bad. But hey, nothing was lost, so we're good. It was good. Oh my God. But yeah, there's absolutely zero phone service there. It took several miles before my phone picked up any kind of service for my GPS or for my cell, for anything. Okay. So yeah, it was an excellent location for cryptid research for sure. Yeah. I thought the part was kind of weird though, was how he had I think it's pretty smart of them for the U.S. Forest Service park rangers, the game wardens, to dress up in civilian clothes, you know, as a regular hiker. And then we had a close call coming back. That's all I'm saying. So we had to put certain things away. So, but there was like 4 different park rangers there going down the same area, like around the area, like where we were at. So that was pretty interesting. Oh, are those the ones that tried to hide their mule? What is that? One of their side-by-sides behind the tree? Yeah, when they're side-by-sides, yeah. Yeah, it's like the tree knot. What do you call those things? It's like where the tree fell over. Side-by-side. It's like a tree root. The root ball or whatever. Yeah. Right. Oh, they thought they were being sneaky, but see, we snuck up behind them. They didn't know we were there. Yeah. That's what I love. I love going out with y'all. It is such a cool experience of being out in the woods with you guys, and you know, just going out with other like people that have different teams and have different styles of like doing the cryptid research. It's awesome. It makes for an exciting life, man. I'm having a great time hanging out with y'all, and super tactical. Okay, is what you guys are. So I can appreciate it. Yeah, stealthy too, stealth mode, and you ain't scared to go out there and do what you got to do. Okay, so what do you think, Drew, about the barefoot child size prints or the small prints accompanied by large canine prints? We didn't see any canine prints out there that I'm aware of.
But my teammates, Bob came across a little child-sized footprint, tiny, like toddler size, on a creek bed one day that was fresh, with no other prints around it. So, I mean, that could be like little people. It could be ET. It could be a juvenile baby Sasquatch. It could be anything. But what do you think, Drew? Have you ever come across that?
No, as far as that, no. I just came across basically just like big ones. And as far as a little footprint, the one that we seen yesterday, that was actually the first one I came across like that.
Yeah. Yeah, boots wouldn't get ticks out of your hair. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm convinced the ticks were coming from the air. They were coming from the sky and landing on my head.
Well, I honestly think they were dropping down from like those elephant ear leaves, man. No joke.
Oh yeah. I still have some in my hair right now, actually. Like I have covered every square inch of my hair with my fingernails, but they still one crawled out when I was going to bed last night, when I was laying in bed. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go. I told my mom this morning, I was like, I'm gonna have to go to the veterinarian and go get one of those flea and tick pills that my dog takes. I was kidding. I'm not gonna do that. But I did joke about it. So because we had to be careful with ticks right now. You know, when I was up in Montauk, New York, we got Long Island Bigfoot in here. He mentioned my Montauk hat. Yeah. So I was been there doing some Bigfooting with him and some other fellas up at Camp Hero, and there were signs for ticks everywhere. I mean, they have like warning signs for ticks with Lyme disease because it's really bad right now.
Yeah.
Ticks are everywhere, so we got to be careful with that.
Yeah, crazy thing is with me, knock on wood, with all the expeditions I've been on, I'd never had a problem with ticks, man. I really never had. Just that the only ticks I found were like on like my bags and like my backpack and stuff like that. But as far as that, I cover up basically from head to toe. I wear double socks, high boots, military pants, cinch them down. The only thing that was exposed was when I was wearing a long sleeve. I rolled up the sleeves because it was hot, and I think I went through as I was carrying my weapon out like that. I think I brushed up on some poison ivy, so I'm like itchy right now on my forearms.
Oh yeah, I'm itchy just talking about this stuff right now. Okay, I am. You actually, do you mind telling the audience what you do when you get home? Okay, with your gear, because all of us need to do this, and this is something that I don't do, but I'm going to start doing it. You said that you take all your gear out in the bathtub, right?
Yeah. So basically, what all I do is
great.
Yeah, so basically, if you guys have a mud room or anything like that, you guys got a mud tub, throw it in there. Or if you, so what I do is I have like this giant bathtub in like my master bathroom, and I take my boots off, take all my clothes off, walk straight into the bathtub, dump everything in there, bags, everything I got, and I just start emptying stuff out right there. And as I'm emptying stuff out, I shake things off. And I start seeing these bugs come off, ticks and everything. And as I'm going through stuff, cleaning it out, I'm moving everything off and I'm spraying bug killer a little bit. And then as these ticks fall off, I take everything out and I just turn on the water and I let them wash down the drain. That's what I do.
Oh man, that's fantastic. I know. Well, I had at least 5 ticks that came off of me when I was scrubbing myself in the shower. Okay, at least 5, and still had more. And but in my gear, that's something I should have done. I didn't think to like take everything out in the bathtub. So, yeah, I probably just infested my home with ticks. But we'll see. I'm gonna go do that after we get off the air today.
And what's cool too is that people's baths are naturally white, right?
Yes, that's right.
And so you can totally spot out bugs right there, because everything's white. So bugs are dark and black.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I know you got to take off here in just a minute. Do you have any like final thoughts on what of the trip and the whole experience, and what do you have coming in the future? Okay. And you're so good at what you do out there. I'm just going to put it out there.
I appreciate
I'm
it.
so impressed. I'm really impressed with you and your team. And I'm just really honored and excited. I get to go out with you guys sometimes. And have you ever thought about taking expeditions out and, letting other people kind of see this world and do some dogman hunting?
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. Screw it.
Yeah. Start from the first line. Overall thoughts first.
Yeah. Overall thoughts with that. I do believe that there, of course, there's so much woods out there, so much stuff. I do believe that there is Bigfoot, there is Dogman out there, and I do believe that we actually ran across a juvenile. As far as that humming noise that sounded like a jet engine, I have no freaking clue what that is. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't, but I know it was weird and it was actually a cool experience. And I still can't believe you guys didn't wake up. So I'm wondering if that was just for me, Podunk, and BX, like since we were up, but it was so loud, so loud. So, but crazy thing is that there was no wind blowing, no nothing. It was just calm and still as that was going on. And yeah, and as far as that, if you guys are going to go out on an expedition, pack towards the mission, pack light, and know your exit routes. And if you guys are going to figure out, if you guys do this enough, on what to bring, what you need and what you don't need. And from the intel I was gathering from Brian, I honestly did bring light. Like if I took out my certain 2 items, my backpack was so nice and light, but I had to put these certain items in there, so that's what made it so heavy. So, but as far as that, only bring
boom
what you
sticks,
need.
right? Your boom
sticks,
sticks, right?
Yeah. So only bring what you need. So.
Yep, yeah, and water. One of those bladder bags, right? Like one of those. Yep. That's imperative.
Yep, camo bags.
You gotta bring one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yep. And if you guys can, bring you like a little cooking stove, camping stove, because I had that, and that came in clutch for everybody. So.
Oh man. Okay. Oh, and that's another thing. Like a couple of us had those little lighter camp stoves in a can. It's just like a little flame, and it didn't really light anything, right? So if you can, take a propane tank, take one of those propane tanks with the little thing you screw on the top, and use that as a stove. That's the only thing that worked really well out there, right?
Hey, you still got mine, huh?
No, I gave it back to you.
Oh, did you?
It back to you. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, I gave it back to you that morning. You got it.
No,
it's in your tub.
Oh, Brian's
tick checked.
Brian's got my other one. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we're good.
I gave yours back. I never used it actually because it was too hot. First of all,
too damn hot, man. Yeah.
I didn't want to light, and we didn't have a campfire either. Okay, so do you think that helped the investigation? You did.
Well, we did like in the morning because we're cooking up food because I
was
using the propane burner for something. But honestly, as far as the campfire, I honestly kind of wish we would have done one because I think it would have brought in more. Like curiosity and stuff, but that's just me. That's what I wanted. But as far as that, this wasn't really my investigation. I was just there as support. So, as far as Podunk and his father, they didn't want that. So I'm like, okay, this is your thing. I'm just here as support. So, but if it was up to me, I would have done a fire. That's just me, and I would have went out more. Yeah, but that's just me.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, we did cut the trip short a little bit, and so, but it was super hot out there, and I think we had enough experiences to know there's something out there. What does your future hold? Okay, I know you're still going to be doing some investigations and stuff. I was asking, would you consider taking other people out and maybe doing that regularly at some point? Is that in your future?
Yeah, 100%. I'm just going to go ahead and spill the beans right now. I'm going to be starting a company here in the next couple months. I'm going to try to get it going before I go on the Tony Merkel podcast. So, because he was talking to me a little bit about it. Yeah, I'm going to be starting of course, you guys know I have a podcast called Cryptid Warfare. But as far as that, since me and the guys do training all the time, so I'm going to start up a company that's going to encompass that. It's going to be called CW Operations and Supplies. So what that's going to encompass is anytime I go out on a hunt, I'm going to bring the most 3 people as far as that. And there's going to be 3 different tiers. So you just pay for what you want. And basically like the top tier, I'm going to be making go bags. So it depends on the mission set. If we're tracking a Dogman, Bigfoot, Skinwalker, Wendigo, Chupacabra, Jersey Devil, aliens, whatever, all these bags are going to be designed for the mission set, and it's yours whenever, if you choose to go on a hunt with us. And also too, if we go caving in that hunt, so you guys are going to, so that's basically what I'm going to do. Going to be kind of like a safari guide when it comes to cryptid hunting. So yeah, so that's
a
what I'm
cryptid
gonna be doing.
safari. And you're gonna need to hire some Sherpas too, probably. I'm just kidding.
Hey, that'd be sweet, wouldn't it? No, but as far as that though, it's gonna entangle just a bunch of things, with the podcast, prepping bags, going out on hunts, bringing the max 3 people with us. So with that, we were going to provide you guys security, and we're going to try to give you guys like the best safe experience possible. So
yeah, you're very thorough. Okay, like Drewski and the Cryptid Warfare operators are very thorough, you guys, and you will feel safe. Okay, you're in safe hands with these guys, and so whenever you get all this up and running, you're gonna have to come back on here, and we'll talk about it again. And come back on anytime. You have an open invite, Drew. Okay,
I appreciate it.
Come
Appreciate
out
it too.
and talk cryptids or whatever. Yeah. I
Also,
look forward to getting back out in the woods with you too sometime.
Oh yeah, 100%. Girl, you are a part of the team.
Yeah.
You are like a satellite team member. So whenever we got something on, I'm always going to invite you and let you know ahead of time. That way, if you can make it, you can make it.
Thank you. I'll be there. Oh yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I've interrupted you. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, well, added on to that, my plans are with the whole CW operations and supplies, also too, I was going to be eventually down the road, I was going to have classes ran too, like you come on for 2 days and teach people how to do certain things. Certain people, Tony Merkel could come on and talk about, biblical stuff or whatever. But yeah, we can have like people come in to teach people how to cast, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to try to make it kind of like a Blackwater operations, but for cryptids. So, and basically, just to teach people and give them knowledge. That way they're safer when they go out on their own.
Oh yeah. I think it's a great idea. I think you're the perfect person to do this. And you know the good spots too. You know where to go. Would you be taking people to spots where you researched, or are you thinking about taking them places that aren't so dangerous? You're going to take them to dangerous places?
It depends on the level. So also too, before I accept anybody, I'm going to vet them. I'm going to talk about like what their experiences are, what they know, prior service, prior law enforcement, prior bushcraft, whatever. So if we just get random people that are just city folk, I'm not going to take them to the hot, crazy spots, because they're not ready for that yet. But I'm going to try to do it accordingly to the personality of the person. So it's going to be a lot of vetting, a lot of questions, a lot of FaceTime, a lot of emails. So just expect that. And a lot of background checks. Oh yeah. And you got to have them sign a waiver. Yeah, for sure.
Just sign a waiver. You'll be good. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
If you die, you die.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm excited about that for you, and I'm looking forward to the future. I don't know what it holds, but hey, if we get any kind of crazy reports down here, I'll call you guys. Y'all come to Georgia. We'll do some scouting and cryptid hunting down here too. Okay, we'll do that.
We are there for sure.
All
and right. Taylor and Zook and all them send the love since they couldn't make it. So the guys. So.
Okay. Oh man, we missed some. We did miss some. We did. Well, everybody, thank you all so much for being here today. And I wanted to, before we go today, because I had one thing. Oh my gosh, I didn't see your super sticker, Cat. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that, Cat Chaser. That's the sweetest. Thank you. Okay, so we have Re-indigenizing Minds had this really interesting comment before we go today. Ancient trade came from the I can't pronounce that, Teotihuacan. Okay, through Alabama. The serpent represents
Quetzalcoatl.
Yes.
Yeah, Quetzalcoatl
from Teotihuacan. Okay. So that's interesting too, because it did look like a petrified dragon, but it could also be a big, could have been like a statue. It was definitely more like stone for sure, but it could have been carved. Could have been. Very interesting. So I just wanted to bring that comment up. Thank you so much, Re-indigenizing Minds. I appreciate that. In your comment. And Cat Chaser, thank you so much for that super sticker. I'm sorry I missed it earlier. But anyways, you guys please go and subscribe to Cryptid Warfare Podcast on YouTube, and you can listen to Cryptid Warfare Podcast on all the podcasting platforms, especially Apple?
Yeah, it's Apple. Yeah, basically, yeah. Apple and Spotify are our main ones. Our YouTube's kind of shoddy because we actually got demonetized on some stuff, so it's kind of like hit or miss on there. But our main ones are Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and the main accounts are also on Instagram too. That's where I'm heavy at. And of course we got Facebook and TikTok too. So.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, y'all go. And Andrew, you do a daily devotional post too, which are really fantastic.
Yeah, I was actually slacking, so I actually got to do one today because I haven't done one in about a week because I've been on vacation and then the hunt. So.
Oh yeah. Well, get them caught up, man. Everybody really enjoys those, and everybody, y'all have a great 4th of July. Okay, if I don't see you again, I'm going to actually have a live show tomorrow night. Adolf, who's in the chat today, Adolf will be there with me. We're going to I've remote viewed something for him. Okay, and it involves some high strangeness. Okay, so I can promise you it's going to be fantastic. So hopefully I will see y'all again tomorrow night. Drew, thank you for being here, and stay safe out there. I know you always do. All right. Well, everybody have a wonderful, safe holiday, and I will see y'all back here tomorrow night. Drew, thanks again. I'm glad everybody made it home safe. And until the next time, I'll see y'all later.
Peace.
Bye, everybody.